Nice to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, where are you from?
We are still reviewing which heavy-hitting automatic weapon is best suited for each class. This time we take a look upon the assault class, and even if it is possible to use carbines for this class, we won't. For this time at least we will just assume that either one or both of these days contesters are better than the Ace-52 CQB. This is just an assumption for right now. We might test this theory in the future. Okay. So let's talk Bulldog versus Scar H. These two weapons are this day's contenders. Both of these weapons are assault rifles holding 7.62mm NATO rounds. In Battlefield, this means that the damage model of these weapons are the same. Maximum damage is 33 and minimum damage is 21.6. The damage drop of start and end is also the same with A to 60 meters. The magazine size of these weapons are also the same. You have 21 bullets in each magazine and the same bullet decrease, first shot recoil and upwards recoil to deal with these rounds. This means that the behavior of each bullet is very similar. The major difference between these two weapons is the rate of fire of the Bulldog that is pumped up with 13%. The spread of these two guns also differ. While the moving and hip fire is better with the Bulldog, the spread while standing still and aiming down sight is better with the Scar H. Scar H behaves more like a sniper rifle where each bullet flies 11% further. And it has a higher muzzle velocity. With the Scar H you can make longer bursts on further targets due to the lower increase per shot. It also have a much easier recoil pattern left and right. My preferred way of running the Scar H is with a suppressor and an angled grip. Other possible attachments are the muzzle brake due to the high vertical recoil. You could also run the flash hider if you would dislike the amount of reduced bullet velocity, and you could run without the barrel if you want as high accuracy as possible. In a burst, you will experience the first shot recoil and the standard recoil pattern. To run the Scar H comfortably, you might try to tame the recoil pattern and the first shot recoil. That could be done with a muzzle brake and an angle grip. Or only the recoil pattern by using a muzzle brake, or only the first shot recoil by using the angle grip. The first shot recoil of the Scar H is actually very low, so there should not be any good reason for you to run with the angle grip. However, I feel like it takes down the first shot recoil just a tiny bit more to make the overall recoil manageable. And with the suppressor on, you are able to stay hidden on the minimap. I recommend you to test this combination, but if you don't feel comfortable with it for some reason, I suggest that you try a more rational and statistically sound choice, muzzle brake and ergo grip. Both of these setups makes the Scar H better at CQB but worse at longer distances, so keep that in mind if you are only playing on like Golmond Railway. My preferred way to run the Bulldog is with the second setup I recommended for the Scar H. Muzzle brake and ergo grip. I don't like to use the suppressor and the angle grip combination on this weapon since the rate of fire is much higher. With this weapon it's harder not to reach longer bursts, and that combination have no way to handle max bullet spread in any way. The way that I thought that I should run with this weapon while learning it was with the compensator. But while the horizontal recoil is massive with this weapon, I find myself hip firing a lot. I find that during hip firing it's easier to keep the aim on the target if the muzzle climb is low, while it's harder to aim down sight if the horizontal recoil is very high. Therefore my choice is the muzzle brake, but if you find yourself aiming down sight a lot more with the Bulldog, you might consider using the compensator instead. I am generally not a fan of the ergo grip, because I usually find hipfire and accuracy while moving manageable with most weapons, and if they are not, I try to adjust my game style accordingly. With the Bulldog, however, I am convinced that the weapon is supposed to be a good weapon to move and strafe with, but at the same time I find it really hard to be good at doing that without the ergo grip. Therefore, it is a must for me. If you don't strafe as much as me, the muzzle brake and ergo grip combination might not be for you, and in that case, I suggest that you try out the compensator and stubby grip combination. However, if you prefer that combination, I think that there are better weapons to use than the Bulldog for that game style. The AK, for example. Okay, so with the attachments that I prefer for each weapon, the Bulldog now have a higher muzzle velocity of 36%. The muzzle brake on the Bulldog has also made it having a 10% less upwards kick. The Scar Age has the obvious advantage of being suppressed, and the first shot recoil is now 20% lower than that of the Bulldog. So before this review, I got 500 kills with both of these weapons, and as a further preparation, I spent one day dedicated for each weapon. From the 4 best matches with each weapon, I picked out the highlights that I now use for this review. All matches were from Team Deathmatch, but the Bulldog games had more tickets. The Bulldog games had the following kills and deaths: 29 and 17, 38 and 25, 60 and 28, and 68 and 38. That is a KD average of 1.77. The Scar Age games have the following kills and deaths: 17 and 7, 18 and 5, 19 and 6, and 22 and 5. That is a KD average of 3.39. And while things like this, of course, have many variables like daily shape, level of opponents, choice of maps, length of games, etc., this is still a strong indicator to be considered. While I only felt weak with the Scar Age when I ran out of bullets, which happens more than you would think, I felt weak with the Bulldog on several occasions. When opponents are more than 30 meters away, whenever I have to reload, and whenever I have been in a fire exchange. The reasons are obvious. With the Bulldog I can't engage in long-range targets because it is at a disadvantage at those ranges. As soon as I start fire bullets, I'm visible on the minimap and easily heard, so I cannot just pick away long-range target and hope that they won't notice me. I can at most kill 3 people with the Bulldog without reloading, and the reload with this weapon is so long that unless I'm covered, it's better to switch to the secondary. I have many short kill streaks with the Bulldog, by 5 to 7 kills, but I can't really get more until I get rushed by 3 enemies at once while I'm in a reload. With the Scar Age, I have many long kill streaks with plus 8 kills, and when I die it's most often because I ran out of bullets. Sure, the Bulldog within the first 15 meters are more able to kill enemies, but the fast reload of the Scar Age and that I have it suppressed helps to keep me alive, and in Team Deathmatch that is equally important as being able to kill. In my book, the Scar Age wins this round. It's an amazing weapon and it's on my personal top 5 favorite weapons in the game. I love the feel of it in every way. It's the gun I enjoy most while suppressed. The suppressed sound of the Scar Age is amazing. You can still hear every bullet and you can still hear how deadly each bullet are. With the angle grip I feel like I'm comfortable in about any range. I will probably never change up this setup. I would only feel underpowered at Conquest Large on Giants of Karelia or Altai Range, or Team Deathmatch at Lost Islands. TDM at Lost Islands are for your interest the only map I would prefer the Bulldog over the Scar Age. I will let the gameplay run for a while, but I'm done talking for now. Thank you so much for listening. Next Versus episode will deal with the heavy hitting LMGs. Until then, take care.
Invincible.